first. Honky going to have his Azir taken away, a champion that he has looked pretty formidable on so far this tournament. So not going to have that, but still plenty in the bank when it comes to mid laners. That's the only one that's really been attacked thus far. And rest, what is it going to be? Is it just going to be Cassante? Judy could lock that one away if he would like to.
Yeah, he has kind of gone to less execution-based champions, I'd say, overall than we've seen from Driver. So if they do want to lock in something here that's very safe to blind and react on blue side here, they certainly could go for that pick. I think the 80 carry pick feels the safest, though, because you've already got the Varus and Kalista gone. Ezreal stocks go way up in that situation because he's going to struggle into those lanes, and even in the mid lane will often struggle into a Varus. So a pretty safe Ezreal lock here to start this one off. We know how much Jackie loves this pick as well. Ashe may be the response, and they may still try to punish this in the 2v2. We'll see what the go button is going to be here for TES, though, as they'll take the Nidalee for Kanavi. Kanavi has, I think, been, unfortunately, the weakest performing and most inconsistent member of TES thus far. So a lot of weight on his shoulders here with this pick, especially when we don't yet know what the prio is going to look like.
And this is one that he's pretty famous for as well. I think that, like, if you want to really, like, claw your way back, this is certainly a way to do it. Kanavi, a lot of comfort on the Nidalee, but also a champion that can be extremely polarizing, as they do give him a little bit of setup here in the Leona for the bottom side of the map. Not showing your hand at all with these first two picks on top esports' side, but it does mean that CFO has pick of the litter when it comes to solo lanes. There is a Rumble and an Azir band away, as far as that is concerned. They've got so many options. It is going to be the Sejuani first, and then
Jace
they can
made
pick, a mid and a top laner if they would like to.
It's a great flexor and made it so deep into this draft. Can work decently well with the Sejuani. And there's a lot of setup here already to follow up on the Sejuani ult. You know, Ezreal and Jace can follow up on that single target that gets caught, especially a squishy jungler like the Nidalee can fall prey to it if trying to be aggressive around objectives. They take the Leona, I think, more as a denial pick here, and they'll actually grab Yone as well. Feels like this draft doesn't have a ton of synergy in it just yet, but it has some elements of dive. Yone does work well as an AD mid laner with the Nidalee in terms of damage profiles here.
That being said, the Talia is up and available. Honky's already had a couple of games on the champion who's looked pretty good. Jhin going to be locked down instead, so this is far more about let's sit back, get that poke happening, and allow some setup around these objectives. I think that does make some sense. You can really litter the ground as well with these captive audiences and the traps from the Nidalee as well. So, Doggo, let's see what he's going to lock in. I think the Talia still makes a whole lot of sense, especially into the Yone in the mid lane. And now, where is Kaiwing going? Generally, this guy is let's play engage, no matter what. He does. We'll see what he does do.
He likes his Alistair, and he is just going to take it here once again. So not a surprise. Can be quite strong into Leona, and it's not a lane matchup where you're going to get punished too hard for picking the Alistair. It's not a strong pushing lane early. And the Cassante I mentioned here is going to come through. I think Cassante pairs really well with the Jhin because you already have some elements of dive, right? You have the Yone, you can set up the Nidalee that way. If you have a Leona and a Cassante, the Jhin has free reign to set up long range damage, set up
him a lot here this tournament. He is still absolutely deadly when he gets that into his hands. So we'll have to just see how it goes. Here we are on the Rift for game number 1.
All right.
I do love it when we get the fan chants, but it's not the Korean teams, so you don't have the same level of coordination of the fan chant leaders and stuff like that. As Honky already has to flash away. Crisp trying to get in there, and there is the root. Honky's going to be going down. First blood here extraordinarily early, and it goes to Kanavi.
Yeah, this really couldn't be worse, to be honest. I mean, he ends up dying despite using his flash. The Leona flash, which is traded in exchange, is going to happen.
Yes, it's more money that goes over to the opposing side, but you do sort of get that full reset. He can just start as if everything is kind of okay. So we'll see whether Honky can bounce back, as Cream taking a lot of damage here, trying to get in range for another threaded volley, but not going to have the opportunity to throw it out.
Carefully avoiding those rocks on the ground, and here comes Kanavi. Not 100% certain if he was seen on that ward or not. They actually have a ward in the river there as well, but he'll just put one in the tri-brush and leave. He is a Nidalee, so doesn't really have any CC to come in here and set up for a dive or anything like that. It is, of course, Ezreal Alistair, so just going to try to now come over to the mid lane.
Yeah.
So try to get some additional information. Drops this ward down here. You look at the top lane. Oh, hold that thought.
There's a big flash forward from Kaiwing as they're trying to follow up. Jackie Love in so much trouble. Doggo just one more auto attack, and there it is. is. Could have been first blood, unfortunately it's the second one, but we've evened things out on that kill scoreboard, and Doggo feeling good in this lane.
And Kaiwing, it's such a comfort for him on this Alistair. He
Topside with that big advantage like you were talking about. And the bottom lane, I think that Doggo kind of needed that with the amount of control that was sort of inherently there, and the fact that Jaculov was doing quite well in farm. That is now all but evened up.
Yeah, there's going to be a dragon taken here by TES. And they had the prio for this one. The Nidali is there. I don't think contesting this is realistic. Even though Honkyu does have his ultimate, there's a Leona kind of standing guard, and getting over here is just not going to be possible. They had a control ward on the dragon, so they knew this was a realistic take. Junjia looking to trade the objectives, though, and they're going to look for more.
Yeah, Doggo knows what's up here. Going to be arcane shifting. It's not exactly the greatest ability for getting out of spears, because if it is like, if you're like split second reacting, you're still just going to take the damage, which can be a little bit sad. Wave going to crash towards his bottom side though, so CFO going to need to get back here. Thankfully there's a cannon, but still it's going to be plates going over to Jackie, as Junji going to be able to grab all three of the grubs. So it is going to be a feat of strength on both sides. Or at least a third of one.
Yes, a third of one. A full objective. Just so satisfying because you just burn them and the damage number goes up. When the damage number goes up, the dopamine goes with it.
I think when rhymes happen, that's where my dopamine comes from. And that's all I really needed.
They have prio on this objective.
Kaiwing's going for it. He finds himself the pulverize. They've separated Chris. He doesn't have the aftershock anymore, and neither does he have his life. Is Junji going to be able to grab that one? Honkyu going to move out of the way of Cream here, who's just doing some investigating by the looks of things. Goes back to his soul, but I don't know about that one. And the ulti is picked up by Junjia. Will they be able to get the permafrost? The answer is no, because the flash comes through. They still get exactly what they want. That's triple flashes.
And if he wants to defend this bottom turret, he's going to have to teleport here. Otherwise, they could potentially look for more. But with potentially Kanavi being in the area, they hesitate for a moment. Honkyu channels his back, but he is going to try for this plate. Once they see Kanavi, though, clearing this ward, they will back away. So it could have been even worse if he did have to, expend his teleport there, but it's not going to end up mattering too much as Kanavi does come and bail them out to a certain extent here. Rest has been on these champions, by the way, where he kind of default wins the lane, like he's played the Rumble, and otherwise CFO are just playing the map better. They're everywhere. They're making plays all over the map.
Yeah.
And now they're looking to get even more. I mean, they already had the first 3 grubs unlocked, and they're looking for full 6.
Yeah, Seismic Shove looking real good. 369, not with a lot of the blue stuff, as you can see here. Kaiwing looking to make his way forward. Come on, man. Surely you're going to press that headbutt pulverize button. But they don't have any minions underneath this turret. Cream is pushing forward as it's Rest that moves on up. Not going to get knocked up just now, as, they will find 369 away from his turret now, which is unfortunate. The ulti goes wide. Great flash to come out from 369, but it's not going to save this turret, and CFO using the pressure to get more, even if the pick didn't actually work out.
Okay, let's see what soul this is going to be, because it's 2 dragons to 6 grubs. And it is going to be Infernal Soul. So a high roll here for TES. This is really important because they ended up committing so much of the dragons, and we'll end up losing this turret, and maybe 369 as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. The headbutt does push him back. He's looking to try and get something done here. Permafrost is going to stop him in his tracks, though. There is so much CC. I don't think 369's going anywhere, even if he can ignore some of it. Never mind, though. The all-out just brings Kaiwing through the wall, but the cow, he's so sticky, and he just headbutts him into the wall. Finally, they managed to take down the Cassante.
CFO are just running circles around top esports on the map as well. Rest here looking like he might just be able to get out.
Yeah, Trap does come on through there as Kanavi looking to try and land the spear, but he doesn't do so. Rest still trying to get out, and I don't know about that Solar Flare.
Yeah, Rest doesn't even have to flash with that Solar Flare, and they are going to skill shots on slow 80 carries. Ezreal feels pretty good about just chucking those Mystic shots out of Jhin. This is not Doggo laning into a Varus. As, man, they're winning mid. They've got bottom side control here as well. TES are coming up with nothing right now on the map.
These Void Mites, they are really getting to work here as one of the last plates does go down. Only one more remaining. Could be feats of strength on the cards as well, as both teams with a couple of stacks as far as objectives are concerned, but first turret will go over to the team with all the grubs. Does make a whole bunch of sense, and the plate money they picked up as well is absurd.
Consider also as Cream, or Crisp rather.
Crisp is in a little bit of trouble. Of course, does have the Eclipse, but unfortunately, it's just not quite enough. Cream goes in, does find 2 with the ulti here, but he does have to get out. Now Kanavi, just denied by Kaiwing, and the curtains were called, but unfortunately didn't really answer. As Jackie now looking to try and lock anyone down, but the Arctic Assault will get Junjia over that wall.
They all get out. scot-free. I mean, sure, so any help. He hasn't been given any resources, and that's how K'Sante is supposed to work. But as the game rolls away from you, I think there needs to be some more resources given to him as the map has fallen away.
Yeah, and the Unraveled Earth is just really difficult for K'Sante to deal with as well. Yeah, you can mitigate some CC, but you're sort of standing still when it happens. So if you then dash afterwards, just not feeling so great.
We took a look at that MasterCard lane economy snapshot just a moment ago. You can see Kanavi with the tiny lead. He was the one who picked up first blood, but he hasn't been able to make an impact on this map otherwise since level 1. And his lead's going to fall.
And since the MasterCard lane economy snapshot came up, he's actually fallen behind in gold. So it's everyone that has an advantage. Let's see whether TES can pull it back here as a potential fight breaking out. 5 against 4 right now, but Rest is going to make his way in as we start a siege into this mid lane. Jackulov avoids at least part of the damage, but not all of it, as now the turret is taking a whole bunch here, and the range that you do have is Glacial Prison flies forward. I don't know about that one as far as the Seismic Shove is concerned, and the Solar Flare is going to connect. Junji is so tanky though as Kaiwing, he's gone completely off on his own. Chris gets himself out of there, and the Unbreakable Will of this cow is actually going to work out. They pull the AD carry though, sorry, they pull Cream, and he is going to get taken out. Honkyu falling, and now Doggo trying to offer some damage back, but TES just better team fighting.
Critically here, it allows him to get Soul Point on the Dragon as Doggo flying too close to the sun.
Yeah, not quite working out. Arcane shifting over the wall, but you can follow if you are the Yone. So Cream able to lock him down, gets back to work on this Dragon as well, and he is now 1-0-2, and maybe a big way the top esports can get back into this game.
I'm not 100% sure about that one, Doggo. I mean, if he's able to maybe set up some sort of mirror.
Opportunistic with it, and maybe just thought that there wasn't vision. So it is still going to be the Rift Herald going over to CFO. Junji going to be able to pick up the eye. And now let's see whether they can get back on the horse, because that wasn't a great fight, but they still have a whole lot of control and a 3,000 gold lead.
Yeah, if you take a look at the top left, you see that turret's 4-1. I mean, there's not a whole lot to hit with the Rift Herald, so I'm curious to see how they're going to use it in this game, because they have such a massive map advantage.
Kaiwing's flank angle is kind of massive right now, as the Zenith Blade is going to try and push him away. The Weaver's Wall comes down, and they have their eye on the prize. The prize being Crisp, who is going to flash back towards Jackulov, and now a teleport to come forward. Have they overstepped? That's the question. As Cream coming in, a teleport now as Rest just dives on top of the Yone. They push him away, but he does manage to use the ult to get himself out, and it's not enough. The Empowered Shock Blast just destroys him.
That was such an opportunistic play from Cream, and I think you need to look for those types of angles in this game. You have a flanking Yone, CFO overextend, maybe you can make that work, but they weren't all on the same page. He was too disconnected, he was too cut off, and he gets punished. And I mean, Jackulov's chunked down here. This is going to be the Herald drop for Inner, and man, I couldn't really overstate how much map control that CFO have now, and that 4th Dragon that we've been touting as maybe this comeback mechanic here, it just feels so far away.
In half. And then just a couple more autos and some Mystic Shots, and Doggo is able to take him down. 2-item spike now definitely there, and it looks like CFO want to turn this into an Otacon take as well, which could spell the end of an inhibitor turret for TES here.
TP from 369, they're going to try to contest here, but it's just so hard. I mean, not impossible.
Yeah, Kaiwing standing on top of a ward, but doesn't seem to care about it at all. Actually, it was a trap, but that's fine. Was discovered. Spear going to connect as CFO. They are still on it, and there is no way for top esports to make their way in. CFO have been clinical with their control of this game. They grab the Voracious Otacon. There's the Weaver's Wall to split up the fight, but Honkyu, he's on the northern side. I don't know about that one. He just withdraws, and sometimes you forget that the Voracious Otacon only means it's a couple of 100 gold, and then you can get back into the fight once again. Teleport available. He could come back immediately as Doggo is going insane underneath this turret. 369 trying to block, but Crisp is still going to be cut down. Now Cream gets knocked up. Kaiwing looking to try and push him out of there. As I don't know about this one. Still, we are just going to try and kill 369 before we go down. The withdraw comes through from Doggo. Kaiwing might be joining him now as Junji going to slow them as much as he can. Headbutts the wall, and speaking of headbutts, Kaiwing is going to try and send them packing. Honkyu, yeah, that was almost a spear as a welcome.
He wants to make sure he had to TP in here because the timing of this gets a little bit off.
Heads in the game, and their heads have well and truly been in this game from minute 1.
Absolutely, and They snowballed the game well. They played some good macro. I mentioned some of the lane assignments they had, putting Hongyu top, allowing Rest to defend that turret bottom side. It just feels like with Kanavi on this Nidalee, when they lost control, he's been able to do very little. Because he doesn't have CC, he can't catch anybody, can't trap anybody. It's very difficult for him to punish overextensions.
And Cream here does some damage.
Yeah, he does. And Cream just thinks he can be further away from that turret than he can at this game state and is punished hard for it. Baron wasn't up. Like, they got an inhibitor Baronless. It's up in 50 here, and now CFO are looking to clear out vision.
And add insult to injury, it's the bottom inhibitor as well. So it's the worst one to deal with if you are going to be trying to contest for Baron, as Junja is going to be dashing forward, looking for Kanavi here. He will accept a crisp as a consolation prize as Deadly Flourish coming on through the knockup and the delivery of Kanavi as they all dive in. The seismic shock defensively is gorgeous from Hongyu as he then flashes over. Cream's in trouble. He's flashing away. 369 on the other side of the fight, trying to duel against Rest and Doggo, and I think I know where the smart money's at when it comes to that battle. He is going to try and get himself out of there. Will be successful for now, but can they save their inhibitor turret in mid lane?
Yeah, they're just going to look for the Weaver's Wall to cut him off.
Yep, Jackie, I don't know whether he's going to be flashing away from that one. Cooldown not up yet, and the inhibitor is going to fall down once more. And CFO are taking no unnecessary risks.
None.
They are making sure that they're pulling top esports to where they need them and then playing these skirmishes gorgeously.
And they know that TES have to rush over to Baron here. They even thought for a moment, oh, they will.
It is going to go down now, but it gives away the fact that this Baron has been started up. Rest chilling in the mid lane as True Shot Barrage gives information over to CFO. Haven't taken the ward out yet as the controller does go into the back of the pit. This Cow, the secret agent, as now Hongyu could be in a little bit of trouble. Glacial Prison going just wide as Kanavi is getting flanked. The Cow comes in. There's the pulverize onto Crisp. Kanavi trying to pounce his way out of there. Crisp not going to have access to that ability, and so he's just dead. Once again, the 1v2 for 369 as he pulls Hongyu away, and Hongyu just goes golden. He should be A-okay here as Rest takes him out. Doggo is in a lot of trouble. Now just standing behind his teammates, making sure these curtains don't fall down on top of him. And CFO keep everyone alive. Rest now diving on top of Cream. Cream is maybe able to take this one as the captive audience not going to be killing Rest
This is
yet.
crazy greed from CFO, but because of Rest's heroic, almost near sacrifice there, they are going to look to try to rush this from down with low health bars. Kanavi could steal this.
Kaiwing should be able to get him out of this pit as now Junja is almost just dead.
I actually think this is the right call. This is going to be a dragon taken here, the second for Flying Oyster, as that Soul felt so close and now feels so much further away.
Junja looking for an opportunity here as Kaiwing once again with the perfect flank angle throws the ulti down to make sure he stays alive and gets the two-man pulverized. Cream able to get himself out of there, had unbound the soul as 369, he's not frontlining anymore, and Kanavi is the one caught out. This War Machine will just eat whatever's in front of them as Hongyu looking for even more. Cream able to get himself just out of there, but they are limping back to the fountain right now, and this fresh inhibitor that only just came back to life is immediately put back in the dirt.
Yeah, down it goes. And CFO, they have got this one super minion here. They're trying to take out these Nexus turrets.
Yeah, 369 diving forward, but he's in the bouncy castle. The seismic shove was too good. He goes all out, but he is all out options. As now Cream back underneath this turret now, and top esports, they don't have the money, they don't have the way to get in, and CFO just too good here in this game one. Jackie gonna be taken out. Doggo is on an absolute rampage. It's a triple kill here, possibly even a quadra, unless Rest just decides to take that one away. And there it goes. Nexus now exposed, and CFO, my God, what an incredible performance from this team. Kanavi might also be taken down, but instead, the